Is now a good time to buy a home? Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you 4 reasons in this video that are going to shock you and hopefully inspire you to make moves before the end of the year or making it a priority for the top of the new year. Like, this is tried and true based on my experience, but these are strictly recommendations. So let's jump in. The number 1 reason why you want to buy a home now is that there is less competition. At the recording of this video, it's October, and we know that we're moving into the holiday season. Thanksgiving is coming, Christmas is coming, New Year's Eve is coming, and people are not going to be focused on buying a home, which means that there is less competition. We know those summer months, those spring months, people are moving because kids are out of school. They just have more time to actually dedicate towards their home buying journey. But if you prioritize it now while everyone else is not prioritizing it, you can likely get some of those benefits that are not as readily available, such as seller credits, being prioritized in different first-time homebuyer programs. Like, the opportunities are endless, and I want to let you all know that I bought my home at the end of the year, and I'm so glad I did, because there's so many things that I gained that I'm going to go over in this video. I don't even want to jump ahead. So stay until the end, because I will tell you when I bought and what I gained by buying at the end of the year, because it's unique to me. So number 2 is that usually there are lower prices, or the prices are stabilizing. So if you've really been understanding and paying attention to market trends, you'll notice that homes are at their peak price again during the spring and in the summer, because they know that that's when most people are going to be ready to move, because it's when their kids can move, that's when they can switch schools, that's when they have the time to pack things up, it just makes more sense. But if you can find a way to make this happen now, you can likely get the best price of a home. Now, it's not guaranteed. I'm not some economist or anything like that, but this is just what I've been studying, because real estate is my passion and I'm really excited about building my own portfolio. So I'm paying attention to these things, and hopefully you benefit from them. So if you want something that, isn't being beat out by like people who are offering $5,000, $10,000 above the asking price, then I would highly encourage you to focus your purchasing on, again, the end of the year. The latest is top of Q1, which is January to March of next year. Like, there's so many benefits to that. And it's better to get a price that matches the appraisal, which means that someone came out, assessed the home, and said it's worth this much, than having, again, to go back and say, okay, well, I want this home. The offers are being submitted at $350 and it's only appraising for $330. Do I really want to pay this? No. So this will be the time for you to prioritize that. So again, less competition is number 1. And then number 2 is that usually the prices of the homes start to stabilize, which means that you pay what it's actually worth versus having to pay above the asking, which we all know has been very common lately. The third thing that you'll be able to benefit, and this is purely financially, because I'm a financial girl, I'm a certified financial educator, and I'm all about stretching my coin, okay? The third thing is that you pay less property taxes. So when you assume responsibility of a home as a home owner, you have to pay taxes. Those taxes go to the communities around you. So it goes to public spaces like your parks, schools, the roads, anything that's public infrastructure. You are contributing to as a homeowner to make sure that it's continuing to meet the standards of everyone in the community. So if you buy at the end of the year or close to the end of the year, then guess what? You pay less. So my property taxes were only for 3 months. I actually bought in October, so it really worked out for me that I only had to pay 2 months, because I bought at the end of October. I only had to pay 2 months of property taxes, versus if I bought in April, I have to pay April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 8 months versus 2 that I paid because I bought on the very last day of October. So that's a benefit that a lot of people don't think about. It's like, that's more money that we're keeping in our pocket and still being able to take advantage of some of the incentives from a tax perspective, which leads to point 4, which is around less interest, less mortgage interest. So we know that And if you don't know, I'm going to include the link in the description. I have a whole video that breaks down what your mortgage consists of, because it's not just your principal. And just real quick, it's your principal, which is the amount that's actually going towards your loan, you know, to lower it. There's the interest, which is going strictly to the lender. Like, they are charging you interest because they gave you money and you're paying them back money. So, you know, everybody has it. Whether you have a car note, student loans, interest rates, or interest rates. There's taxes, which we just discussed, property taxes, which is required for everyone. No one can get out of property taxes. And then lastly is insurance. And usually that is your homeowner's insurance, and it can also include your private mortgage insurance if you put down less than 3%. I'm sorry, less than 20% on as a down payment. So again, I'll put the link to that in the description because it's really important for you to know that. But anyway, back to why we're here. Less interest means more money in your pocket. So again, if you buy in October, November, December, you're paying way less than someone who's buying in April and is having to take responsibility for interest from April to December. So hopefully that makes sense. And just to show you how this still benefits you despite you paying less across the board, is that you still can take advantage of these tax incentives on your taxes that following year. So again, to tell you more about my background, I bought my home at the end of the year in October. And when I filed my taxes in the new year, I got to still deduct the interest that I had paid, which was very little, obviously, but I still got to deduct the mortgage interest, my mortgage interest, a small portion of it. I also got to deduct my moving expenses because I moved from one place to the next. And in the state that I am in, you can deduct a lot of that because it was for your new home. So some people will allow you to deduct a portion of your taxes. Like, some people did allow you to deduct so many different things. This is going to be based on your state. But the goal and the highlight that I want to make sure that you all understand is that despite you paying less in taxes, less in insurance, less in insurance, less in interest, you still can take advantage of the incentives as it relates to your taxes. And again, for my state, it's your deduction, it's your interest rate, as well as your moving expenses. So just to recap, the 4 reasons why now is still a good time to buy is: number 1, you're paying less. There's less competition on the market. Less people are looking to buy a home, which means that if you find something you really like, there's a higher chance of you getting it right now versus buying again in April, May, June. That's high season. 2 is that you pay a lower, or the prices are stabilizing on the home. So you won't feel the competition that you may feel when people want to put $20,000, $30,000 above, asking price, when that doesn't even make sense for you financially. 3 is that you're paying less in property taxes and still being able to take advantage of those incentives on your taxes, which is what's going to the IRS. And then lastly is less mortgage interest that's being paid because you're buying at the end of the year versus earlier, which means that more money is in your pocket. And again, the big gain from all of this is that in that following year, you still can deduct that mortgage interest. And then again, depending on what state you're in, I got to deduct my moving expenses. So it all worked out. For me, less competition is better. For me, a stabilized home market price is better than having to compete with a bunch of buyers. Right now, they're not buying because they're settling into the holidays. So don't slow down on your goals. Focus on your home buying goals. Please focus on your home buying goals. If you need insight and support on how to do so, please DM me or comment below, and check out Ready to Own, which is my 100-page workbook for first-time home buyers that is tried and true. I literally created this based on my experience because I needed a place to understand A to Z what home buying was like for me, and I still use this as I look through the different properties that I'm considering for my rental. So this is linked below. If you have any questions about home buying, please let me know. I'm happy to help. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.